Rough Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
There's so much going on in your community that even in this age of information, it's tough to keep up. This show will help. It's all about what's new, what's happening, and what's out there. So if you're ready, sit back and listen up, Santa Paula.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Listen up, Santa Paula. It is, wow, I should put that banner back because I think we looked a lot better.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
I know. I'm looking at myself. I'm like, what?
Hey, we're like the Boxy twins. We both have this little gray goatee sporting.
Yeah. It was
nice.
Not gray when we first started this show.
It wasn't.
No.
Like 5 minutes ago, it was black. But so, John, you have been outed.
Have I?
Yeah, because now that we're live and everybody can see the booze behind you.
I know.
So
that's how I get through my week sometimes, especially after this show.
So I'm like really excited. This is show number 50.
Yeah.
And to kick off show number 50, we have a special guest. I mean, we like upped our game with this one.
Yeah, we've been kind of this hidden treasure over the last year, and now we're kind of letting loose and showcasing what we're doing. That's why we're live now on video. So, but I'm thrilled to have our guest today.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that maybe we should do next time is warn them.
Yeah, but we want to be kind of spontaneous too.
We are going to be spontaneous. Yeah. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only mayor of Santa Paula, where'd you go? I lost you.
You lost the camera.
Oh my gosh. That is such a wow.
What is happening here?
That was like so anticlimactic.
Did you not charge your battery or what?
It was almost like done by design, wasn't it?
The minute you went to him, it shut off.
It did. So
there you go. There you go. Now you're twice there. You're shown twice.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you want.
Yeah. Look at me.
Yeah.
All right, let's try that again.
Try the introduction one more time.
Let's try that again. Okay. That was
all right.
We're such amateurs.
God, we practiced so hard over the last 2 minutes trying to make this happen.
We did.
Yeah. We need to get some new equipment.
All right.
Yeah.
One of my cameras was flaking out. All right, so ready? The one, the only. We stepped up our game. Of course, we need to get new equipment, but we have the mayor of Santa Paula, Andy Sobel.
Yeah, there you go.
Yay.
Good afternoon.
Got to turn on the mic. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to get some professionals in here.
Yeah. And we need Josh in here to direct us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the mic is working. Andy, you look awesome. You're wearing your Santa Paula shirt because you knew you were going to be coming on the show and you had to represent Santa Paula beautifully. I was expecting a suit and tie, but that's okay.
Well, next time you got to do a little outreach and put the expectations a little higher. But luckily, I watched some previous shows and I knew you were going to video today, so I shaved, I combed my hair, and I put on a non-t-shirt. So.
So he watched a couple of shows. He knew that our we were.
The level of expectation was really low. So okay, But now we're bringing it up with having him here.
I know.
What better guest could we?
Well, and I have to admit, I had no idea you were at show number 50. So that's an impressive run already.
You are our anniversary show member, whatever.
It took us about a year of practice to make sure we try and get this right.
Yes.
So now we're ready to launch.
And of course, you can see how well we did with the camera equipment. So
2 minutes in, we already messed up.
I know, and it was like so planned when I said, "Here he is," and all of a sudden, bang, you're gone. Yeah.
Anyway,
I love being introduced. If you want to do it again,
I could
turn it off.
So there's a magician by the name of Sobel.
I did not know that.
Yeah, very, very good. We actually had him perform on one of our shows before, our Spellbound show. So
I missed that. We're probably somehow related.
It might be. Although what's your nationality?
Well, my dad's Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay.
Mom's Minnesota.
I'm
from Mexico, born and raised.
Mexico.
Actually, you can't say Sobel in Spanish. So my grandparents are Sobel, but I'm Sobel because in Spanish you can say Sobel, but not Sobel.
So mom and dad, Brooklyn and Minnesota. And how did you go about being born in Mexico and raised?
Just had folks who love to drag cats and dogs and children around the world. So my dad was a geologist. So I was born in Mexico. Then we ended up in Bolivia for a couple of years, and Nairobi, Kenya for a couple of years.
Wow.
A little bit of time in San Francisco, and then back in Mexico City. And so graduated high school and came to the States at 18.
It's a man of the world. Look at that. Yeah.
So now having parents that were in the States, that must have made you automatically a citizen of the United States, right?
So I count myself very fortunate to have both passports. So,
nice.
Which is great. Yeah.
Very cool. John, you didn't tell me about see, we traveled around a lot, but my dad was wanted by the FBI, so it was for different reasons.
Well, I used to say we were doing it for tax reasons, but now I just being in my current capacity, I thought I'd just keep it straight.
Now the truth comes out.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Got to keep on the down low, all the other stuff. So I know.
So this is the way it should be.
What do you mean? Oh, just you. Okay.
No, it's not just me. You guys are just kind of tucked off to the side a little bit.
Kind of like how everything we do, it's all about you. I know. So, okay. All right.
So I had to ask a tough question.
Bring it on.
Okay. So so we have this whole redistricting thing, and I know which way you voted, but how did you really want to vote? Okay, that was not a question. That was just it was a tough question. I had to ask one tough question, so that was my tough question, but I retract it. But
it is a good question.
It is a good question.
How you want to make decisions based on the merits and the persuasion of all interested parties. So,
yes.
This one where you get served a letter with a threat of litigation, once in a while that happens in other aspects. So in this case, that's kind of what was the impetus was. So
that's what brought it to the table.
Yes, very uncomfortable to have to make a decision with litigation in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a talk, listen, persuasion, get the community involved and stuff like that. So I would have rather had that kind of process, because I think it's a super important thing to talk about. And I think there's places where it makes great sense, and places maybe like Santa Paula where maybe it's not as good of a fit. So
I was going to say, in a small community like this, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a very easily accomplished.
Well, right now we have, let's give it 10 years and see how it turns out. We may end up with just superb people on council who might not have been on council. So it opens up opportunities for that. That would be great.
Yeah, and I can see that in certain areas where we can. There's pockets in Santa Paula that we could probably bring people together and say, you know what, this is an opportunity to represent your area. There's people that may want to do this, they just don't feel they can do it. And now I think this kind of opens it up a little bit. So it's tough in a small town. I know there's smaller communities that actually are districts as well. And that makes it harder. And I think we're going in the way of districts, and I think throughout California, the way it's going right now. But my question is, now that we are going to districts, how can the community support districts?
Right. So that's a great question. So I think we've had, independent districts, we haven't done a great job of community as a community of finding talent, mentoring them, helping them run campaigns, which is really quite a big job. So that still stays there, but now we need to notch it up, right? So because there's let's say our school district are examples where nobody ran. Well, only one person was interested in two different districts, so they automatically are on 0 votes. So not very democratic and not great. So if you're living in that area, you get what you get. So we want to ensure that every district has people who are interested, and then we want to find them early, convince them. I had to be convinced. It took a long time for people to convince me to run. We got to kind of do that, and then we got to help, run campaigns, and somebody volunteered to be their treasurer and raise money. So we need to do that. But that's also kind of exciting, because that really brings the community together when people are finding interested parties. And then ideally in every district, we have multiple people running. So that means in 2 years, we'll have 2 districts election. And then in next time will be 3. So that means you could have 5-6 people running, 2 in 1 or 3 in 1. That's exciting. So that makes everything, the buzz is higher. People realize voting is going on. And hopefully this doesn't always work out. For instance, in Oxnard last week, they had election, the special election, and their turnout was, I don't know, 17% or some, very low number.
Yeah.
So hopefully Santa Paula will buck the trend. We'll have people running. We'll have a lot of buzz, great turnout, and that will be great for us.
So with the districting, that means some of the people that are on council right now will not be able to run, or they'll be able to run, but it's no longer going to be, instead of 2 people from the same district being elected, only one of those people is going to get elected,
so,
right?
Boy, and the penultimate map, oddly enough, the way it was carved out, and we didn't do this on purpose. A lot of districting, the incumbents weigh in heavily because they want to be an incumbent. Well, oddly enough, the penultimate map was carved out and each of us was in one of the districts, just because we're spread across the city. Yeah, nice. And then the last one, I have to think carefully if there's any overlap, but in 2024 there is not. And then the next one, boy, I'd have to go look at the map. So there we may not have that issue.
I think potentially there's one district that's going to be unrepresented in 2024. I think it's District 4. I think it is.
Right.
That's more the downtown strip all the way to Steckel, all that area north of Main Street. I think that there's a district there. It's right there. It's right pretty close to everything.
Well, it's out there. So now that I'm on the air here, I can say publicly I will not be running in 2024 in 2 years. So I am already pounding the pavement and finding people I think would be interested. And so I'm in the district, basically the Las Piedras district. So word is out. Let's find some people.
Why are you not running?
Hold on a minute. We just have breaking news. I should.
Wow.
Let's take a shot.
No. Yeah, there you go. Anything you want in the back. There you go.
John, you should run because you're in every other board. So why not be on the council?
Well, how long ago was it when you first came on? We were doing the
2018.
John Him and I went against each other for the appointment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he beat you.
It was a narrow margin, but
oh, come on.
And you know what? It worked out for the best.
Andy, how narrow was it?
No, it was a 4.5 hour. There was only 4 council members, so it was an even number, which you'd never want in any legislative body. And so they were 2-2. So it took 4.5 hours for them to reach an agreement. And John, I think we'd all agree would make a superb council member, but our Chamber of Commerce was kind of in the doldrums, and John has brought it back. So in terms of the benefit to the city, I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, no, it was great. Because I hadn't been on the chamber at the time yet. I was still kind of trying to find myself. So when that all happened and Andy beat me to a fine pulp on that one, but
I would have loved to have heard the debates.
But I had the opportunity right after that to join the chamber. And so I just took a different direction because I still wanted to serve the community. And I had this opportunity to take over the chamber. And I embraced it. And I've been at it 5.5 years now, coming up on 6. And it's been, I love it. And hopefully I've done well in the community and just trying to help, elevate our town as best we can.
You got to do something about that darn Christmas parade.
Well,
kidding.
Chip away at it one step at a time. But so Andy, tell us, how's your experience been as mayor?
Well, I was a very busy council member, so I didn't expect it to be too different. But I was on, I think, 14 committees or something last year. So the darn mayor makes the selections and took me off of some. That would be me. So I thought I would ease up life a little bit, but it's been tremendously busy. And then, and the previous mayors had warned me that when people have an issue that they want to communicate to the city, they may not know who the mayor is. They just want to go straight to the mayor. So that has proven to be true. So, I hear a lot of things from a variety of people at once. So, it's generally, I love the job, but I'm a little bit more beat up right now.
Yeah, well, I give everybody Andy's phone number when there's an issue. I say, here's his speed dial, call him, whatever. No, but it's true. The mayor is usually the first person they look to, and that's kind of the role, I think, good and bad, that the mayor takes. But Andy's done a great job maneuvering through as mayor. I mean, everything I see, you're at every function mostly. I mean, that you can, and he's been great for the community as mayor. Great as a council member.
I got to tell you, you're very approachable, which is probably part of your problem.
One, I love the city, and in 2018 when you're campaigning, you kind of say, we want to keep Santa Paula and stuff like that. And I've been here 9 years already, which around here doesn't count for anything. But this city, I've lived all over the country and all over the world, and it's a unique place, and it really has that people make Santa Paula are Santa Paulan. People, generally really get along, love each other. People move here from Ventura and say, I can't believe how friendly it is. So it's really nice to be an elected official in a town where everybody, I'm approachable, but so is everybody else. So you can go out, you can talk to people can have a good conversation with you. So that's great.
I've often shared this story about when we first moved here, because we were in Ventura, and it was not small business friendly at all. And Ventura, if you're listening, pay attention. But it's a big city, and you're a small fish, and you mean absolutely nothing, sadly, to them. And the red tape and everything else that we had to go through, I mean, they bankrupted us basically. And when we moved here, the first thing that I came across was that this is light industrial. And so what we wanted to do in here was not according to what it was zoned for. And so this used to be a software company. This was the company that I worked for, and they donated the building to us. And so I knew all these people. And in the city, when I went down and I told them what we wanted to do, they were like, if everybody in the development is okay with it, then we're okay. And so I was like, no problem. I'll get letters from everybody if I have to. And then it came time to do the site plan. Well, in Ventura, that was a $15,000 architect.
Wow.
And some ungodly number of meetings. And when I came to Santa Paula and they said, we need a site plan, I went, and they're like, just put something out on spreadsheet or paper, draw something out on paper. And I'm like, what, really? This was the easiest process that I ever went through. And the welcoming that we had about, it's like, oh my gosh, we got an escape room in Santa Paula, where we got a magic shop, and we got this theater for shows. And it's like they embraced it. And here we're still a small fish, but we actually get to swim amongst all the other small fish, and it's great. And the businesses are very supportive with each other. And so I encourage anyone who wants to start a business to come here.
Yeah, it's a great story, and we need a lot more of those, or people to be aware of that.
Yeah, right? Yeah. No, I mean, we're mainly small businesses in our community. We have a couple larger organizations like Limonera and Calavos and all that, but we're a town of small businesses, and we thrive on that. And I think we probably do one of the best jobs in the county as far as supporting our small businesses.
I do. I agree.
So kudos to everybody that works together, and city staff has been great. They've improved a lot of processes, even though there is some things we could still work on, but that's always there.
Yeah.
But since I've been involved with the chamber, processes have gotten so much better. Staffing's really improved what they're doing. We still have some things from years past we fixed and stuff, but for the most part, I see us heading in the right direction going forward. So I don't know how you feel about that, Andy, but I mean, I know there's probably some things that you still see we can improve on as a community.
Yeah. So, if you're going to ask, what our challenges are, one of our biggest challenges right now is our staffing still a little light.
Yeah.
Right? Since staffing is tied to revenue, of course, so we need to increase our revenue to hire people, and then hiring right now, I'm sure both in public and in the private sphere, is very tough. It's very competitive. Our vacancy rate is a little lower compared to other cities and the county, but we still feel that deeply here. We need people in public works. We need people in planning. So if you're out there, we'd love to have you here, but it's, people are switching cities all over the place. So that's really tough. So, we're talking about like planning and permitting. That's one place you want a smooth thing. It's great you had a good experience, but we're hearing now, people having some kind of more rocky road. So we really want to focus on that and improve that, because that matters a lot.
And I think that's a countywide problem with cities and county finding qualified people, and we've had a lot of people move from, like you said, from city to city, looking for better opportunities, but there's just not enough of the workforce out there. And it's not just city and county, it's everywhere. Right. Everybody's got a staffing problem right now. So ever since the pandemic, it's been tough for every business to find employees.
Well, that's what blows my mind is there are jobs out there, and people who say, I can't find any work. It's like, well, wait a minute, where are you looking? Because there's work all over the place, and it's strange that the pandemic caused such a shortage, because we still have the same number of people.
Sure, but we have our unemployment rate is low, so which is great, but that consequently it makes it harder to find people.
Yeah, and if you look at it, I think a lot of people since the pandemic created more entrepreneurship businesses at home. And so I'm sure in our community, we have a lot more people working from home now than ever before. Yeah. And they've always said, daycare is an issue. So people would rather stay home than to pay for daycare, or there's not enough daycare out there. So they've switched and figured out how to work from home, do other things. Some people just had a hobby that they created a business out of because they just didn't want to go back into the corporate world or whatever. So there's a lot of different things out there that have created, I think, this lack of workforce in general. So, but it's even in the service industries the same way too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to get people to come out now.
We're working on a customer service class, because people need to learn how to do customer service again, because the pandemic really killed that. So Andy, what made you get into politics?
Well, I like to differentiate politics from being an elected official, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Politics has that connotation. So, yeah. Well, I was kind of living the good life in 2016. I was working part-time. My main hobby is kiteboarding. So kiteboarding. When the wind would come up, I could whip in a Ventura and kiteboard. So then in 2016.
You mean in the ocean, those things with those kites?
Yes, exactly.
See him doing the flips and all
that
stuff. Yeah.
If I'm doing flips, that's not on purpose. But that's the year we voted in our Measure T proposition, our 1 cent sales tax, which kind of was a divided vote. It came in, I think, 60%, something like that. But still, there's a lot of people for it, a lot of people against it. And so then in our great newspaper, Santa Paula Times, every week, we need people to serve on the oversight committee. And they ran that for months. And it looks like nobody's putting their name in. So one day I was kind of reading it. It said, well, you don't, 2 meetings a year, minimum 2 meetings a year. And I'm like, well, I'd like to give back to the community and get involved somehow. So that seems like an easy lift. So it turns out quite a few people applied for that. And a couple of us, or 5 of us were selected. And then, I think we started either March or April, and we had like 5 meetings in 2 months because we were in a deficit at that time. Measure T was going to bring in about $2 million at that time, a lot more now. So we had to get budget training all the time. And then the other departments were coming in, each against each other, why we want money. We had outside community groups coming in saying this is where we want the money. So Measure T turned out to be a really big deal. And it has been a savior for the city. Thank you, everybody, for voted for that. People have talked to me who voted against it, saying I'm glad it passed. So anyway, so then I was doing the committee work, but I was still, pretty low profile. And then the next election cycle, like 3 different kind of groups approached me about running. I think partly, 2 things happened. Once I was on Measure T, council meetings were on Monday at that time. And my joke is, and it's kind of true, that there's no really good TV on Monday. So I started going to council meetings, and 80% of the time I was the only non-staffer there.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I close out the meeting. And then the other thing I didn't know until 2 years later, somebody told me that if you sit on one, I don't have channel 10. So if you sit on the right side, people can see you whenever somebody's at the podium. So I'm just sitting there.
I would watch on Sheldon, and he's the only one that I could always tune in and see him every time. But he'd be the Lone Ranger there,
See of empty chairs.
Yeah, he had the whole place to himself.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I think some people say, "Wow, there's a warm body. Let's get him."
Yeah, people latch on quick when they see that. Yeah.
So anyway, they persuaded me to run, and then, but I was so reluctant. So then, when this appointment process came up, people are saying, look, you're not sure about it, but here's a chance that, 2 years you can test it out. So then I think there was 16 of us or 18 of us. A big group went in. And then when we're standing outside getting ready to be interviewed, I'm talking to somebody and they're like, isn't this great? We don't have to run. We don't have to talk to people. We don't have to raise money. And that I just felt guilty. So I decided to campaign and seek the appointment. And the rest is kind of a long story. So that's how Council Member Riza was appointed, and then he won. So he
it opened up the other appointment.
So they had
again.
to reappointment again. That's how John and I ended up in round 2.
Yeah, because we were in the running
winners
for the first one too, and then it ended up Rick Riza got it, and then so it came down to the next 2 in line, which were the 2 of us, and so that's kind of how they approached it. So. But he did a much better job approaching it than I did, I guess. I don't know. So, but it worked out for the best for everybody. And I mean, look where we're at now. I mean, I think the community's going in the right direction.
All I can say is Harvard Boulevard is getting paved.
Well, eventually.
Well,
but it's getting sewer and water first. Right?
Yeah.
And it's nice now. People
but it's on the table.
They're still complaining about the pavement, but now they're complaining about the construction work. And I love that.
Yeah.
Complain away. So.
Yeah, but it's improving every day. It gets a little bit better. So, one thing I was going to ask you: talk about the new bike path that we were talking about, real quick.
All right, so we got a $1.5 million grant to work on our plan, so that bicycle master plan. Yeah. So and part of the grant language was to extend our bike path. So both on the west side, so to come out all the way to where the community college and that whole area, and then all the way out to the east side to hook up to the park. So we'll have community meetings and design, and probably a consultant to help us design how we can do that whole thing. But that's very exciting, and it ties into a kind of a countywide effort to have ways to bike all over the county. So that should be.
That's going to be huge.
Does that bring it? Does that bring it into the new housing development? Is that what you're talking about?
It does. So there's it's taking a long time to get it in place, but we're getting a bridge built. So Santa Paula Street is actually, I just learned this recently, Santa Paula Street is also in Harvest. So it will make Santa Paula Street one street. So the bridge over the creek, which will have pedestrian and bike lanes on the bridge. So that'll connect the city like that, which is going to be just great.
Nice.
Yeah. So Andy's an avid biker. He bikes around. And then I ended up buying an e-bike recently. So I'm breaking that out next week.
All right. An e-bike is not an e-bike is not biking. I'm sorry.
Have you ridden one?
An e-bike?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, pedal assist.
Oh no, I rode on one that was, it was an e-bike.
Well, but at my age, I'm like, I can't go up the hill. I need a little assistance now, So
these are different. You actually get quite good exercise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You just every once in a while need a little boost.
So if you don't pedal, it doesn't assist. Is that it?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
And you get to choose how much you want.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot. You can work hard, or if you're going up a hill and you need more help, you get more help. If you're not going to make it home because you're about to pass out, a little bit more assist.
Gotcha.
Just sit back, push the button, cruise it all the way home.
Oh, we're gonna have to check that out. Then.
I don't have that. Mine has to pedal.
Oh, you have to pedal.
He went
a little higher end model. Just it's more age appropriate for me. You know. So, but anyway,
I'll have to check that out. So now, as mayor, obviously you still have to work with the council. You're more or less the figurehead. You're the representative of the overall body, right?
Yes.
You don't have any more authority over any of the other council members.
Still 5 votes. I run the meetings, which when you're sitting to the side, you don't think there's much to it, but it turns out running a good meeting is not as easy as it looks. So And then I work more closely with the city manager on, setting up the agenda and the outline and stuff like that. But no, we cycle through. Ideally, sometimes people don't vote. Your colleagues don't vote you in as mayor, but we're trying to be a little bit more intentional so that you're coming up. And so yeah, but the mayor, right? We have to sign a lot of things. We have to go to a lot of places and stuff like that.
So you get a 1-year term as mayor?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And there'll be no shenanigans. So don't expect me to be there next year because I pull something off.
He's going to start a rally in like November,
yeah. One more term.
Yeah.
So,
but the process I think you guys put in place is probably the best it's been. And you kind of know that succession plan where everything's going to go.
Yeah.
Who's going to go. So, because I know before it was always kind of just random. So I know the language you guys put in there now, I think it's going to help going forward. So
I felt bad for Jenny that she had to be mayor during the pandemic when it's like everything being online.
Well, she got some, Mayor Ariza got like 2 meetings.
Yeah.
Mayor Juarez got like 3 in person. So Councilmember Crosswhite got more than both of them. So
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's been mayor more than once, so she's had
she has
opportunity. So yeah. So you can be mayor more than one time, just not consecutive.
And she got to do the State of the City live, which was great, which is coming up. But like Mayor Riza had to do it
video.
Wow.
So yeah. Speaking of that, we have our State of the City coming up May 4th, and our Mayor Andy will be our guest speaker, our keynote speaker that day.
Okay, so where is that for the award ceremony?
That's for our chamber awards and State of the City. It's a combo thing.
So come on out, everybody. It's a great event.
We've already selected our recipients, and we'll officially announce it next week. We can't yet until we actually talk to them. So it'll be sure.
I'm here.
Yeah.
So after we're done, I'll tell you where you ranked since you came in.
The bottom.
But we're excited. It's really 6 weeks away, so it's coming up fast.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a great event. We're featuring our local restaurants again, that'll provide the food.
That was cool. That was nice.
And we're going to do that again. And, last year we had over 15 businesses that were involved in helping put this whole thing together, which is the first time we've done it. Normally it's just the chamber does it with a couple people, but I wanted to get everybody involved. And it was great to see the support of all the businesses and stuff. And, we compensated them for what they brought in, and we just asked that they came in and volunteered their time. So it worked out perfect. I think everybody enjoyed it. A few things will improve for this coming year, but it should be a great event. It really should be.
The only thing people can remember though out of that is the briefcase opening and the bowling ball smashing on the stage.
I was gonna say, do I get to bring the bowling ball again?
Do you have a follow-up?
I do.
Or something you can do?
Yeah.
All right, because we might have to bring you back and do something.
Okay.
Can you do the one where what is this that you're going to do at the pumpkin patch?
The guillotine.
The guillotine.
Yeah, we could send you off. When does your term expire?
In December.
Well, I think actually after he gives his State of the City speech, you bring that up there, and then we'll get the crowd to vote yay or nay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a surprise now, but okay.
Do we keep him or not?
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. How do you feel about that?
I like the drama of it.
All right. I've only had a couple accidents, but
98% of the time it works fine.
They all survived.
No pressure on the mayor to give a good speech, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
As long as you can put my head on the dais twice a month.
So we got 2 breaking news things today. 1, you're not going to rerun. 2,
well, I'm not going to run again now for sure.
Well, 2, we're going to put you on the chopping block.
It's 50-50 then at that point.
I know.
Make it or not.
I like it.
But no.
So thank you for celebrating our 50th show.
It was been an honor, great to have you on. Pleasure.
Yes,
so,
I was telling him thank you.
Oh,
not you.
Okay.
Telling him thank you.
I get it.
Yeah.
Why would you thank me? So I think you're doing a fantastic job, and I think the city is an amazing city to be a part of the community. If I could afford to, I would move here. If anyone wants to donate a home, I'm available.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, yeah. But no, I think the city has done an amazing job for its community, and everybody on council should be commended for that.
Thank you very much. I'll pass on that.
Yes.
Anything else, John?
No, we're good. Next week we'll talk about cruise night.
Cruise night, and so May 4th, state of the city
tonight. Mixer at Palazzo Event Center, 5:30. Combination mixer with the Ventura Chamber of Commerce. We do a lot of partnerships with them.
Oh man, I don't think I'm welcome anymore.
If you sit on one side of the room, you'll be okay.
Okay.
So, but no, we're helping support Jose Melgar and his event center. He's a great supporter of not just Santa Paula, but the entire county. And so Ventura Chamber is also, these are members of their Ventura Chamber as well. So we're doing a partnership to support them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see you all tonight then.
Yes.
And thanks again, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
And John, as always, by the way, I did get one comment that came through on the thing saying, thank you, John, for staying behind the mic.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, we
So-
need to angle the camera, but I kept watching and I was just like, all right, we need to fix that.
Well, yeah, I kept seeing you kind of like dodge behind the
Mhm.
screen there. So, anyways, thanks everybody. Stay safe. Hope you enjoyed the live show with our one and only, very handsome, by the way, Mayor, I might add.
Wow. Well, what do you need him to sign after the show? You know,
We'll talk. Anyways, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
all right.
This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.